Let's talk about the heroes that you saw last night.
In a world where everyone's kneeling, I saw hundreds of people standing up and running towards the danger. You know, I mean, these first responders. The second you heard, I just can't believe how I didn't know what to do in this scenario. And then there are these, you know, individuals who are obviously trained really well, running towards automatic gunfire with nothing but a pistol on their sidearm. I mean, like, who does that? It's just. See, I mean, every distraction that those cops gave that guy saved countless lives. I mean, he was just spraying the crowd. Every single time that trigger was pulled, multiple people were hit.
And you said that you saw people plugging bullet wounds with their fingers. I mean, the battlefield
people were
medics.
knocking over barricades and using the barricades as like gurneys and stretchers, taking 2-3 bodies out at a time, just dragging them, just trying to get people under cover. I mean, there were 6 people in a porta potty at a time, and all the porta potties were locked. We were like mice in a cage, or mice in a maze. We just couldn't get out. I mean, you finally think you were out to an exit, and then it'd be a dead end with a 10-foot wall. So you'd have to double back through thousands of people and try to get out. And my poor fiance, her knees are all torn up, and I mean, she's finally asleep right now. I haven't had a chance to sleep yet. It's just images are in your head, and I just had to wake her up from a nightmare and tell her, you know, we're home. It's okay. It's over. Actually, one of your producers called us. I had to wake her up and apologize.
Oh, well,
this is going to stick with you forever.
We do appreciate you sharing your story with us. I know these events were horrific. I'm at a loss for words trying to describe what has transpired there in Las Vegas. But I think it is interesting when you talk about people running toward the gunfire, people who, you know, trained officers and others who have military backgrounds. I mean, Americans really stepped up and tried to help their fellow Americans, it sounds like.
They truly did. And I mean, this is unlike anything I've seen on television or heard about or even in a movie or television. I mean, it was just relentless gunfire. I heard personally 200-300 rounds go off.
And how long were the shots continuing? Any way to know?
10, 15 minutes. I mean, it felt like forever, but realistically, I know it took about 10 minutes. I lost my fiance for 5, found her and my friends, and then darted away, and it took us another 12 minutes. I'd say total, about 15 minutes. And then we still heard gunfire, hopped in my car 2 blocks away. I mean, it just didn't stop.
Did you think, I mean, you must have thought about who would be doing this. What was going through your mind on that score?
It wasn't even, I couldn't imagine. I thought the guy was in the ground. I didn't know where it was coming from. It sounded like with all. I mean, when you're crawling through the ground, you can feel the stand hitting your face of like the ricochets off of the ground. You can feel just the stand getting kicked up at you. And I mean, I wasn't even thinking that. Honestly, my first thought was I need to get to my firearm, which is 2 blocks away in my car. But I mean, that wouldn't even have done anything. I mean, there's nothing you could do in this scenario where that guy was positioned. There's nothing you can do. I cannot imagine that anybody could do something like this. I mean, this is just so beyond horrible. I mean, there were kids there. I mean, like, God, I can't even imagine what all these families are going through. I mean, jeez.
If you were close enough to some of the bullets to feel sand kicked up in your face from their impact, obviously you were lucky.
No, we truly were. I mean, not only that, when we finally made it to the bleachers, like a couple thousand people underneath them, you could just hear it plink consistently off the bleachers. And then you can see the gunshots move away a little bit, and then he'd come back. It looked like he was just spraying. And then finally we had a gap when he reloaded. It took him, like, I think, a lot longer this last time. We just did a full-on sprint and didn't stop until we reached 2 blocks away.
Was there any indication, I mean, you point out how difficult it would have been to take out the shooter. I mean, police with their sidearms, even if they had known where he was firing from, it would have been a 1 in a million shot to be able to take him out. Was there any indication that it was coming from the Mandalay Bay? I mean, did you see any muzzle flashes, anything like that?
No, I mean, he was that far away to where, I mean, I now witnessed video, and you can see he has the muzzle. I mean, I guess they found him because of a smoke detector. He fired so many times, from what I'm hearing. But no, we didn't know it was coming. I knew it was coming from that general direction, but to be honest, we thought he was on the ground and slowly moving through the event space. We didn't know he was across the street. But it makes sense if you broke another window, because the first angle that he had was right towards the stage, and that's where I was to the right. And then as all of a sudden it stopped, and I guess he went out of another hole and started, I'm guessing, shooting towards the entrance, because I saw everybody just turn around and run back towards us.
Mm. Russell Bleck, who was working at the concert, you and your fiancée survived, and for that we are grateful, but so many others didn't. Worth pointing out what you said about Americans helping other people out, and let's try to remember that out of this horrible thing. Russell, thank you for speaking with us this morning. Get some rest.